Before we get into the main talking points of the video, I first want to address the pros of machines because it's not all doom and gloom. For example purposes, if you want to isolate a particular muscle, machines can be really good for doing that. They can also be really good for rehabbing purposes. When it comes to cardio as well, machines can be great. And if anybody has used a ski erg, a rower, or an assault bike, will probably agree with me when I say this. And if you pay close attention to the title of the video, I deliberately titled it for the most part because I want to make the point that machines are not useless. There is a time and a place for them. However, for most people who don't have much time on their hands, for most people who just want to get fitter, look better naked, and get stronger, then quite frankly, machines aren't the best use of your time. So now let's talk about the cons of gym machines. The irony is that many PTs will recommend beginners and newbies to start off with machines. They'll argue that it's safer. But here's the thing, I'd argue that it's the complete opposite because one of the problems with gym machines is that they're not very good at working the stabilizer muscles, which is something I'll be talking about later on in the video. A very, very good way to look at the human body is that it is a complex system designed to move. Let's take a basic human movement pattern, and that is walking. When you walk, your legs are moving. When you walk, your core is switched on. When you walk, your arms are swinging. There's lots of things going on. You could say that free weight compound movements and body weight exercises, to be fair, kind of mimic the way the body is designed to function. And that is multiple muscle groups working at the same time. The problem is with machines, though, is they sort of ignore this. With machines, you are isolating a muscle and you're doing this in a fixed plane. And if we go back to the newbie and beginner example that I used earlier on, in most cases, that person would be better off learning how to do a goblet squat rather than dilly-dallying around with a leg press machine. The thing is with time, it's one of your most valuable assets because once it's gone, you don't get it back. Not to mention that many people have responsibilities outside of the gym, whether that's work commitments, whether that's school, university, or college, or raising children. Any parent will tell you that raising kids is a 24/7 job. And if you look at machine training, it isn't really a good use of your time. Let's say, for example purposes, right? You wanted to get a full body workout using only machines, you would have to spend a significant amount of time in the gym. Contrast that to free weight compound movements, where you could get a really, really good workout in around 45 minutes. To look better naked, it's in your best interest to build muscle and lose body fat. And when you compare machine work to your big compound lifts, your big compound lifts are far, far superior. And this is because your big compound lifts have you working multiple muscle groups at the same time. So what this means is that the metabolic cost is higher. So not only are you burning more calories while you're exercising, you're also burning more calories at rest. And this is what most people want. Anybody that has done pull-ups will tell you that it ain't just a back, bicep and trap exercise. It's a very underrated core exercise. And one of the problems with machines is that you just don't get that same core activation. So let's just compare a pull up to doing a lat pull down. And to be fair, the lat pull down machine is actually one of the better machines. So I'm not hating on the lat pull down machine. But what I will say is that the pull up is superior. With a pull up, you are hanging off a bar. You are moving your body through space. Your core has to engage. There is no ifs, ands, and buts. In fact, it's highly engaged. If you compare that to a lat pull down, you sat down in a fixed position and you're pulling the weight down. The core activation just isn't the same. And some personal trainers will actually argue that it's better for newbies and beginners to start off with lat pull downs. But again, I'd actually argue against that. Because if somebody is learning how to do pull ups, they can use a resistance band. That person can also do negatives as well, which, by the way, is a fantastic way to build pull up strength. That person can also do inverted rows, which again is a fantastic upper body exercise. I want to make it perfectly clear, I am not hating on the lat pull down machine. I actually believe that it's one of the better ones. But here's the thing, from a general fitness point of view, lat pull downs are there to supplement your pulls and chins. It's not the other way around. A very, very good way to look at it is this, and that is when you lift things outside of the gym, they are not guided and fixed like they are when you're using a gym machine. For example purposes, when you lift and move furniture, carry luggage, or carry groceries, your body naturally stabilizes. It does this to protect you. The problem is with machines, though, is that they reduce that stabilization demand because the machines are basically guiding the movement for you. And this leads me perfectly onto the next point. Because the machines are guiding the movement for you, it basically means that your body doesn't have to work as hard. And to be fair, in a rehab setting, this can actually be a good thing. But if you've got somebody who's injury free and you've got somebody who just wants to get fitter, faster, and stronger, then this isn't a pro, it's an actual con. And let's compare a leg press to a barbell back squat. And let's compare it from a muscle stabilization perspective. Because the problem is with the leg press is that the stabilizers don't have to kick in because you essentially lay there with your back against the pad. In comparison to a barbell back squat, you have to actively stabilize that load. You have to keep your core tight and braced. Your hips and your glutes are working together to stop you from tipping over. The stabilizers in your ankles, knees, and upper back are all working together. The squat is really a full body movement. And if you were to compare the two exercises, right, if all you ever did were heavy barbell back squats, that would more than likely transfer over to the leg press machine. But on the other hand, if all you did were heavy leg presses, that doesn't automatically mean you'd be able to squat big weights. If you were just comparing the exercises from a general fitness perspective, the barbell back squat is far, far superior. This is actually one of the most important benefits because if I could sum up muscle building in one word, that one word would be hormones. It's all about your hormones and how you influence your hormones is through exercise selection, is through diet, is through sleep, and it's managing your stress levels. And if we're talking purely from a hormonal perspective, free weight compound movements and body weight exercises such as dips, pull-ups, and box jumps are far, far superior in comparison to machine training exercises.